to say. I ain't got shit to say. I'm the king of burn. How about you?
I'll fight my mum if she can make weight.
Who's fucking next?
Eternal MMA Uncensored.
Alright, episode 15 of Mma Uncensored.
We're racking them up, aren't we?
Now 15. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, I've fucking spoken to you for at least, a good 20, 22 hours.
Fucking, how am I still sane?
Exactly.
Talk to this fucking buffoon.
I know, it's fucking intense. But, learning heaps about what not to be like, and it's great.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Great knowledge. Knowledge of the fight game really helped me out.
I've had a lot of feedback saying that you should stop comparing fighting to basketball.
That's never happened. That happened once. And they're
People
all
are
sports.
getting very angry about.
Oh, who? Little nerdy guys that listen?
No. Funnily enough, I'll introduce you to one of them. He wants to come on the podcast, and I think he'd be a very interesting guest.
Who is it? Say it.
Sam Ballantyne.
Sam Ballantyne. Where do I know that name from?
Thai boxing, maybe.
Ah, cool. From here, obviously. We do. Your gym does listen, which is interesting. 'Cause my gym does not. They're sick of my shit.
Well, you're fucking nothing in that gym.
It's true. It's true. I'm nothing in any gym. You know what? I am something in a basketball gym. It's a lot like fighting.
Well, I like the way you drop that in there.
It's sports. You know what's funny? I have noticed a lot of MMA fighters, although best athletes in the world, always great at this shit, but they generally suck at other sports. Like some choose not like some are like, oh, I was good at this sport, like the Dellas would be good at rugby, and they want MMA. Most people though suck at sport, take up fighting. True fact.
Angry people. Well, I can see where you're coming from, but most of the fighters I know are just good athletes, and they switch to anything. Most of my guys are pretty good at other stuff. Brody Payno is a bit good at everything he turns his hands to. Ryan Gray is pretty talented at most things. Harv's a decent accountant.
He is. That's the best thing about your fighters at MMA clinic. They all look like you'd probably fight them on the street. Like you pick on them, and they would just murder you.
Remember the back in the day, you had Joe Lowe's on, like geeky looking, computer geek dude, absolute savage. Kenny Florian, all people like that.
Kenny Florian's the number one guy that you would try and fight.
Who was the one on like one of the first scenes of The Ultimate Fighter? The real twin.
Oh, he had like the glasses.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
He got to the final, man. He lost to Diego Sanchez in the final, I'm sure.
You know that still kills me to this day. The amount of people.
Luke Kumo.
That is definitely
fucking knowledge.
Dropping knowledge bombs.
I still got that in my head from fucking.
But that's what happens. Like you get punched in the head, you'll forget like your daughter's name, your wife's name, but you'll remember who won season 3 of like it's that's how that shit works. But no, it's a lot of the people that can't. They seem like they can't fight, and they generally are great. And the mainstream people will look at a bodybuilder and be like, oh, he'd murder that person. And still, to this day, people still think size matters. Like, it does. Like, if...
A good big guy will be a good little guy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But if especially the jiu-jitsu, if the person knows nothing, they've had it if someone knows something. Right?
Even one... I always say this. I reckon someone with one class of jiu-jitsu would beat...
It depends what they learn in that class, though, doesn't it?
The person would like...
Quick escaping is not going to help you. Just dive onto the floor and start shrimping.
You know what? Drove all the way down to Marcus's gym in Mandurah, and I just did their jiu-jitsu class, just cause. And because it was the actual class, we were doing like all like the warm-ups, like the jiu-jitsu warm-ups. And training with Steve, I've not done a fucking shrimp in like, I reckon about 3 years. And I look like that guy that, like, when the first guy that walks in and you got to be like, okay, push your hips here and then
Get in the
and
fetal
then-
position
yeah.
on the side.
Yeah.
Leave one foot on the floor. Get your hips off the ground. Push
But-
yourself. Should look like a shrimp.
Yeah, yeah. And then you always look at the length of the mat, like the wall to wall, and you're like,
Fuck, that's a long way to go.
and you always get majority of the class start halfway down the mat and then finish like 3/4 down the mat. And they're like, oh yeah, oh that's enough.
Yeah, everybody's got, you see one person finish just before the end, and then slowly, before you know it, they're doing 2 shrimps and then getting up and jogging back to the start.
But I
Those
remember,
warm-ups are imperative, especially for beginners and guys that aren't at a high level, because it's just how your body should move. And even though you don't notice yourself doing it a lot of the times, you're doing it all the time when you're rolling. So, Kennedy, pull your fucking finger out, mate.
nah, he's fucking teaching me real skills. But
But you can't hip escape. It's the most important skill in jiu-jitsu.
no, I can hip escape. I just can't do the drill over and over. Because when do you hip escape 12 times? You don't. It's
If
either
someone's
3,
fucking pressuring
no.
really hard,
3, and then you give up.
don't fucking nut me.
3,
bro.
you go 1, 2, I'm not getting out of here, and then you cover up, and then you.
Oh, mate.
Would you? Have you ever? That's what I want to know too. Have you ever tapped out to strikes in like sparring? or a
100%
fight?
fuck no. I've never tapped out strikes in
Okay,
a fight.
I've
I don't agree with it.
I've always wondered that because a lot of people. Because a couple of weeks ago, Luke Rockhold took on David Branch in the UFC. He tapped out to strikes, and it's the first time in a long
But didn't
time.
he gave a reason for that. He did it because he was getting a lot of heat for it, and he spoke afterwards about it. I think I can't remember exactly what he said, but he had it sounded quite legitimate. Maybe he had broken ribs or something like that, or
But is
broken
that
face.
how do you look at that? That's the same.
I still don't think. I mean, at the end of the day, the referee will stop it eventually. That's what I always like. I was on the bottom with Vaughan Harvey, or Vaughan Lee, as he's better known, elbowing me in the face for about 4 minutes of the fight, and I never once.
It
thought,
shows.
Yeah, I know. You should have seen the picture of me afterwards. And the funny thing behind this fight was I only went to that fight to corner someone,
Oh, is this the one that you?
and I ended up fighting.
It's old school. It's the old school MMA world.
Yeah, so I got home, and obviously I was going. It was a Saturday night, and then Sunday I was having Sunday roast with my mum. And I've walked in the next day. Like, my eye was out because I don't cut. I get hematomas. So I had like a massive eye,
It's your eye popping out.
massive head. My head was out here. My lip. I looked like I had a little hip attached, but it was all purple on one side, bruised. It was just fucking purple and yellow head. But it never crossed my mind to tap. And even he got a rear naked choke right at the end with 2 seconds left in the round. And I swear to this day I never tapped. But the referee stopped it. Now maybe he felt sorry for me. I was like looking forward to the next round starting because I could then start on the feet again.
My theory with all that is like
But yeah, I'm not into it.
you'll see it with guys that they've given up mount and they're getting rained on, and you'll see the arm. They'll give
take
the
the
arm.
bar
Yeah.
and I'll try and escape that, or take my back. I'll roll to my back. If I can't get out, I'll give you a few options.
My thing was always if I get caught, I'm just gonna go like limp, like just like I'm fine, but like pretend limp, and then like the ref will stop it, and it's like I got tapped out, but it's like I look like a gangster because I went out cold.
Good thinking. But for me, I was just like, if you're punching me, I'm going to keep fighting until I go out or I improve my position. So
you don't think what? But now you're a coach and you're smarter. Would you go like?
I think if you're a fighter, you'll never tap the strikes. That's what I think personally. And that's no offense to anyone that's ever done it. To each their own. But for me, for my pride, and if for you to be a fighter, you need that little bit of you that says, I'm not fucking.
That's right.
If someone's punching me in the face.
Steve Kennedy tapped the strikes. I just like seeing that too. It was earlier in his career.
Ryan in because I've locked the door.
But alright, Ben is off talking. Ryan Gray, he'll come in a minute. But yeah, no, guys. Obviously, if you hang around, this is great. We're gonna chat to Brentin Mumford, hopefully, about his fight on the weekend, taking on the rockstar Callan Potter. It's going to be an amazing fight. Check it out. This is what we call in the business, we call padding. Just doing that while Ben lets Ryan in. They talk about shit. They're like, oh, how good's MMA clinic? Oh, it's amazing. Oh, God, do you love being a purple belt and higher? Hey, Ben.
Trying to think what you was talking about. I'll just come in and give you a resounding fuck you, right, for all of that shit that you were just speaking about.
It's generally, yeah, no, it's Did you hear any of it?
No.
Okay, cool.
When did Steve tap to strike?
Early. Hey, it's came from Steve's mouth too, so it's not like he's going to punch me in the
What's
face.
his take on it?
Okay. This makes it a 15 podcast in a row I've talked about Steve. But I'll make a highlight reel of just like every time it comes up. No, he is basically what done.
Playing yourself.
I'm playing on my phone, alright? He has done like 30 something fights. He has never been seriously hurt. He's never really been cut. He's been cut once, and it was on top of his head from like a headbutt. Other than that, he's never been hurt. He's never been concussed. He's never been knocked out. So if you're thinking long term, he's had one of the longest careers in Australian MMA. So it's like, if you look at it from that point of view, he's still going now. He's 34. He still talks shit. He doesn't slur his words more than he did when he was just a normal person. But like it. So I don't know. I think career wise, I don't know. Maybe if you're fighting, you want to fight 6 times a year or something. I don't know. I guess like you said, fighters know, or fighters that might be in you. And you go.
Look, I can never agree with it. But to each their own. I wasn't in there. I haven't fought half as much as Steve, and I would never ever deem to disrespect him or anything like that. But for me personally, it's not what I advocate, and it's not what I would ever do.
Oh, there's even, guys out there would know that even when you're grappling, people quit because it's just training, or it's just, we're just doing this drill, or we're doing the passing gut. Oh yeah, you got past me, but I won't fight to get it back. It's like, you got me.
We talked about this like a couple of podcasts ago.
Yeah.
Like I used to fight for every minute of every round in every session I ever did because I never wanted to lose. Even in training, like I didn't want someone to take me down, even if they were a heavyweight. Like I just didn't want to be taken down. I think so. That thing where someone gets taken down, you're halfway down, you go, "Oh, I've been taken down." Well, you haven't. Not until your shoulders are pinned to the ground and you're stuck in that position. So for me, that was the start of the scramble. For a lot of people, it's like, "Oh yeah, I'm taken down. I'm going to start working from here."
That's what Chuck Liddell always said. He always said the reason why he was so hard to hold down is because he was trying to get back up before he hit the ground. Type thing. A lot of people fall.
Yeah, and you just have that second like, "Oh shit, now I'm going to work." Whereas, the best guys, they're scrambling. They're not accepting that takedown. They're not having their shoulders pinned on the mat. And I think that comes from the way you drill in the gym. Like we had that thing where you were saying, "Oh yeah, I do the takedown and then he sweeps me."
Yeah.
But if you do your takedown properly and consolidate your position, he ain't sweeping you, even if it's a drill or not. Like, so yeah, that is the culture that I sort of try and get the guys to follow. Like even whatever position you're doing, you finish it. Don't just do the move and then stop. You've got to finish in a position which is realistic for a fight situation. Because the way you train is the way you fight.
What about when you've got like a discrepancy in skills? Like would you want a guy like say Josh is sparring against someone who's great at stand up? Do you want him like to focus on the stand up aspect, or do you want him to dominate it and take him down, or what? Like, does fight camp change it, or?
No, I want him to do if it's MMA sparring. I want him to do whatever feels natural to him in that moment. Like he's good enough everywhere to fight wherever he wants. So if it was like a real bad striker who's really good at jiu-jitsu, I'd say let's work on getting this guy to the ground. And whenever you're fighting strikers, because we do boxing sparring separately and we do boxing with takedowns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but if it's an MMA round, you should be working your game to what you want your game to be, because the more reps you can get in of looking for the takedowns, timing people's punches, like getting the timing right on the punches or getting your setups right, the more drills and reps you get in at that live, then the better you're going to be at it when it comes to the crunch.
Because that's a sort of speed bump I came into, and I even was talking to Steve about. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Is it's like he always likes to work on shit that if they're a better wrestler, he likes to try and wrestle, or if they're a better striker, he likes to try and strike with them. When he's not in a fight camp, when he's in a fight camp, he goes into wants to go into kill mode, into do whatever you want to win type thing, do whatever you have to do to win. But when you're outside, he likes to work on that, on other aspects. So that's why I just found it interesting, because some people have that mentality where they'll win all the time and work on what they want. And like you said, you like guys to implement what they want to do. You don't like going through tape and waiting for them to sort of trying to figure out what they want to do. You want to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. It's almost like how you've got strikers and then you got your counter strikers. It's almost like that's how people go about training and fighting and game
it's very
plans.
individual. Like everyone's different. Some people like to train a certain way, and you have to be flexible with how people want to train. And you know what? Some people are really bad in training, really good in the competition. Some people are really good in the gym and really bad in competition. So
yeah,
you can't judge too much by it.
I've really thought about that with when you talk about fighters' skills. There's always people that are saying, and we've talked about it before, where it's like they're judged more in training. Like their training partners be like, they're way better than that fight. They're way better than that fight. But if you keep performing at, say, a subpar level, the rest of the world only knows you as that.
Correct.
And that's performing. That's anything. That's any sport. That's any performance. It's musicians, whatever it is. It's like you kind of only get judged on that
Brentin
5 minutes.
is online. So
Yeah? All right, guys, we've got Brentin Mumford. He's coming through to save us. Had a little chat about his upcoming fight with Callan Potter. Callan Potter also got another fight booked, which I won't talk about because I'm getting in trouble for doing that. But I find that interesting. That Google it, guys. I find that interesting that he's got 2 fights booked before this next one.
Hello.
Hey mate, how you doing?
What's happening?
How was your training session?
Oh, good. Just a light one. Get a sweat up.
Get nice and sharp. Before...
Hey, Brentin, how are ya?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good. How's the tattoo?
Oh, yeah. It's not nowhere near done yet, but another 40-odd hours or so, I'd say.
Oh,
mate.
Jesus.
Just the thought of that makes me feel fucking sick.
And then I guess once it gets to the hip, I guess then you got to try and join the arm and the hip together to go through the midsection, I guess. It's the next stage, isn't it?
Oh, mate. Bodysuit. We're going full bodysuit.
I don't know about that. The missus would leave you in a full bodysuit.
Yeah, I'm in negotiations with the missus about getting my hands tattooed at the moment, and she's not having any of it at all.
Yeah, I know about it. You can't cover them up. That's a wrap. Like get your forehead done.
I'll just wear boxing gloves around the place. Yeah, at least they're fingerless so I can function.
People know who you are then too, they won't guess you.
Yeah, exactly.
What's like? Does it take you out of training at all with all the hours you got to sit down?
No, I just do it when I'm not training, and then if I get my leg done, I just don't grapple. It doesn't take. My leg was only the outline at first. It was only like 2 or 3 days off, and then you can go to training.
That's cool.
But when I get a coloured in, I'll just take a week or so. I'll get it done next week.
So you've got the Callan Potter fight obviously on Saturday. Give us your thoughts, like initially on obviously Callan's last 2 fights have been fucking crash bang wallop, as of your last 2 fights. So do you see this one ending quickly, or do you think it's gonna be a long drawn out bloody affair?
I honestly think it might be a longer drawn out one because I don't think that. Well, I don't think it's gonna rush in. Like, it would be wise not to.
Yeah.
And the last 2 times I believe that Callan fought when I think Abel Bright might have caught him with a hook at the start.
Yeah.
It was kind of a scramble from there, and then he got the finish. I believe another fight that I seen of his where he won by head kick KO. I think it was
Stu Dare. That was.
Was that when he won?
Yeah, that was on Valor when he won the Valor belt.
I think he got one on Hex.
Oh yes, he did. Yeah, he did.
He got a head kick in the third maybe or something like that. It looked like that had a pretty decent wall before that.
Yeah, he's he was on last week and he said that his best weapon is his cardio, but he's never had a chance to show it yet.
Yeah.
So he kind of wants one of those fights.
Oh, I can help him with that.
Yeah, we thought you might be willing to oblige, in a battle. Where do you think this fight leaves you? Is this the biggest fight of your career?
Oh, for sure. He's on a 6-fight winning streak, so I guess it everyone's as big as each other.
What goes into your preparation leading up to a fight? Like, take us through like fight day or 2 days out.
Well, 2 days out,
Cutting weight.
fucking torture. And as you've probably seen, I'm not the smallest guy in the lightweight division in Australia, so usually it takes a bit of time of the day to get that off. Fight day, just do normal shit. Don't make it something that it's not. Don't make it something different. I train at night time the other 6 days of the week, so.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I don't go out and do something different on the Saturday knowing I've got a fight. Like I just go and eat and just do what I normally would do if it was a Friday and I had sparring Friday night.
And you'll have but with this sparring session, you're gonna have how many people are you bringing to the Southport Sharks? About 500.
I wish it'd be a good payday if it was 500. I don't know, maybe. I can tell you that I sold you over $12,000 worth of table seats. So.
I don't know how you do it, mate. You're a machine. It just goes up and up every time. Your fan base just gets bigger and bigger.
I don't do it. I just put it up there and they buy them. I don't.
That's fantastic.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they're so supportive to you?
I come from a small town, I guess, and
So there's
everyone wants to say. I guess a lot of people want to see me do good, but half of them are probably there to see you get beat up, to be honest. But whilst I'm making commissions on them watching me not get beat up, I'm happy.
I saw I was with Ash the other day and I saw your walkout gear and that looks the business, mate.
And Gage Industries all the way. They've got the best gear.
How good is he, mate? How good is Ash?
Yeah, it's wicked. Like it's all custom gear. And guys, whoever's if you're listening to this and you haven't got on and checked out all the new gear, especially all the new higher line like 2.0 stuff and the tracksuits and stuff like coming in for next winter, or even like the stuff is top of the for Australian gear. Like and obviously if you're gonna buy gear, why support someone from another country? Why not support the little guy? Like Ash is a legend, looks after all the guys he sponsors.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see the MMA community give back to him. Like he's sponsoring Eternal now, and so it'd be good to see the guys. Stuff. There's a lot more guys buy his gear, because the quality's there and the exposure's there now. So.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I've just had all my club gear done by him as well. It's brilliant. I love it. I love it.
He's actually flying to me tonight or early tomorrow morning. He's coming to the show, but he's bringing all my supporter teams with him. For a legend, flying him over himself because they had a bit of a mix-up with the shirts.
Yeah, he's one of the good guys, mate. That's for sure.
Sure.
That is for sure.
Brentin, obviously this fight, you're not looking past this fight. I wanted to ask this question. Callan has another fight booked after you. How does that affect you at all, or do you feel like he's looking past you or anything like that, or?
He's probably looking past me anyways. He's 6 fights in a row. He probably doesn't think he can be beaten. He's been campaigning for the UFC since I don't know how long. I was meant to fight him last fight, and I don't know what happened there. Something to do with the UFC or something, but I try to stay out of that side of it. I think it's all just, I don't really worry too much about it. I just worry about fighting and whatever happens kind of thing. But I don't know. He probably is looking past me, I guess.
You know what? I know Callan pretty well, and I know that he's a consummate professional, and I know he definitely isn't looking past you. Like, he has a lot of respect for your skills, and if he doesn't, he's crazy, especially after your last 2 performances.
That's the same on this side too. Like I actually was at tryouts for the Ultimate Fighter with him in Sydney a few years back when I was only very green, but I was raw back then. I only had actually went to the tryouts with my current coach, and we both got through the top 8. Pretty funny. Like when we had to tell him who my coach was, like, oh, this guy next to me.
That's brilliant.
And I seen him down there, and he was already a veteran back then. Like he'd already had, I think he'd been to the Abu Dhabi or something like that, the purple belt. So like his ground game's legit. But yeah, it's MMA. It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
He's got skills everywhere. Like he's knocking people out.
And do you focus your training camps like on your opponent, or is it just working on your all-round game and your general improvement?
No, other guys help me do that. I don't pay too much of it. If I do it myself, I give them more credit than they deserve.
Yeah, correct. I agree. So
I look at their good points and start to question my own. So now I got, I don't know, you might have heard of Brad Riddell,
yes, I have indeed.
one of the best strikers in the world, 4-0 in MMA. Can't find an MMA fight to save himself, just keep knocking everyone out.
Yeah.
He helps me with mine, like he watches the guys and he's like a encyclopedia to everything, from the tiniest hand movements of your opponent to the footwork to the range. So I've worked with him for the last 5-6 weeks.
Well, where do you do that? Mainly in Tiger.
I did that in Tiger, yeah. So that was quite good.
Yeah. It must be awesome to just get away and immerse yourself completely in the training, like have nothing else to worry about for those 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but I like it there. But there's some parts I miss, like just the food and stuff. Like over here, I'm quite strict with my diet. Sponsored by a company called TikTok Nutrition. It's like a local company that they drop my food off every week. And I just got to get it out of the fridge and heat it up and eat. I don't have to overcomplicate and think about what I'm eating. Things like that,
Yeah.
Good coffee, miss that.
Yeah, Aussies I'm from England where coffee's shit, but since I moved to Australia, I've become a bit of a snob with the coffee. You get good coffee here in Australia.
Yeah, once you find good coffee, and then you go to somewhere and it's shit.
Shit.
You never go again. Make sure you tell every single person about it.
Oh, mate. Well, listen, we won't keep too much of your time. Thanks so much for coming on. I know it's a super hectic time for you at the moment.
You just had the time difference with daylight savings.
Oh, mate, I'm useless with that.
It's insane.
But
I'm cruising today. I'm done for the week now.
good man. You got that weight to cut, so
Yeah, but I guess this one was probably you probably got more out of me this one, because last time I was dosed up on painkillers.
in the tattoo shop.
2.5 hours deep into a fucking leg tattoo on my knee.
Yeah, that's no good, mate. That's no good. No, it's been brilliant talking to you. It's nice to get your views, and it'll be interesting for everyone to have a listen before you fight, and just really build what I think is probably the top Australian MMA fight this year.
Yeah, there's some other big ones too, like Isaac Hardman, he's on a tear as well. Like anyone he fights is a big one, because he's put heaps of wins together. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big one coming up as well. He's got to fight Bob Hill. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well. He is on a run, but we wouldn't mind getting him into the Eternal cage to test himself against some of you lot.
I think depending with me and Callan, and then what happens afterwards, he's got Rob Hill, and then I guess see what plays out after there.
Yeah, it's an interesting time anyway. The division's on fire, that's for sure.
But then Callan's got Jack Beckler after
Jack Becker, yeah.
Jack Becker 4 weeks after me. I believe he's sponsored by Engage too, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Callan wants to be he's probably hoping for a quick one, but I don't think he's going to get it by the sounds of it.
Oh shit! I don't think anyone ever. I guess I don't want to host for a quick one. What a waste of a fight camp.
You want to test out all those skills.
Yeah. All right then, boys. Well, thanks for having me on.
All the best, mate. I'll see you on Friday at the weigh-ins. Hopefully, after you've had a drink of water and that, I'll.
And everyone's listening. Make sure you get on to Engage on the Instagram and their Facebook and website and whatnot, and buy some gear off that.
Yeah, and who's your other sponsor? The nutrition sponsor?
Nutrition, they're only local where I'm from, so it's a bit hard to get onto them, but good. They're good. He's a good dude. Matt from there. He's bought a table for the show as well. He's got a bus coming up. 10 of his mates.
Good man. It's nice to get the support.
Yeah, it's good.
Perfect, mate. We'll leave you to it. Good luck with the weight cut, and I will see you on Friday.
Yeah, good luck, man.
See you, boys.
Thanks, Brendan. See you, mate. The man himself.
Yeah, he's good. He's Google his last fight. Google or Eternal? It should be on the YouTube page.
Eternal YouTube, yeah.
The
Against
Greg Adzori.
That spinning heel kick.
Oh.
Google the one before that if you like.
Jesus.
Fucking knee against Ben Wall, UFC veteran.
Yeah, he's.
Brendan's last two wins have been emphatic against good guys. So.
But I found that quite interesting because obviously Callan's on this tear trying to get into the UFC and he's right at the doorstep. So he's staying active, but he literally has like 3 or 4 belts and he's trying to defend them all. So it's like trying to book all those fights and he's dealing with like 3 different promotions where he's the guy of 3 promotions. So it's like trying to match up fights. And like you said, I didn't even know that fight was that close, but to fight Jack Becker 4 weeks after Brentin Mumford, like that's hard to juggle. Especially like you said, if that becomes a...
Well, they have a 3-round war.
Are you even cleared? Like, are you even...
Who knows?
How does that work?
It's a very risky call to make.
Yeah, for sure. But then again, I mean, it could work out great. Callan could come in.
Look, whatever's meant to be is meant to be. So, you know, if that fight goes ahead, it goes ahead. If it doesn't, you know.
Yeah, it's very... yeah.
What's interesting is he could win in devastating fashion early and then get the call from the UFC and get signed. So he might not be able to do that fight for a number of reasons. That's why it's crazy having it so close. You never know where Callan might end up after this fight. The outcomes could change so much.
But also too, could you imagine getting 2 quality wins in the space of a month? Like that would do wonders. It's high risk, high reward.
Risk, high reward. Yeah, there you go.
But
good for Callan, and you know, I know 100%. I've known Callan for a few years. He will not be looking past Brentin Mumford. Like if you look past Brentin Mumford, you're an idiot. You know, and I know how professional Callan is. I know how seriously he takes this game. There's no way he's looking past Brentin. As Brentin so rightfully said, that, you know, they've got an utmost respect for each other's skills. There's no way you can't have.
I still just find that interesting because like if I've got something I've got to look forward to and then there's something that's coming up, it does take time thinking away as I'm thinking about the first thing. So it would take a really dedicated and disciplined professional to be able to ignore. Exactly. So that's
not many, you know, in the weight management and stuff like that. You know, you've got to finish. You can't go too berserk after the fight because then you've got to fight again. So
maybe he doesn't even blow up as big as he could because he's got that next. And then it's like, no, do you put all your eggs in that one basket?
It's all coulda, woulda, shoulda. But what he's got to do is go out and give it everything. And the only thing that matters to him at the moment, I can assure you, is Brentin Mumford.
Yeah, for sure. People that aren't in Queensland can watch that fight
on the stream. All those details are up on Eternal MMA. We'll bang the details up on the website and the Facebook and stuff. But if you got the last stream, it'll be in the same place.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll pretty much wrap this up now because I can't talk about anything without getting in trouble. So
you can talk about whatever you like.
So we'll wrap.
I've got a plane to catch.
Yeah, Ben's out of here. You're flying in like a couple of hours.
Perth, Gold Coast. Oh, Perth, Brisbane. Brisbane, I'll drive down to the Gold Coast, do the show. Brisbane, Dubai, 14-hour fucking flight. Dubai, London.
So you're going from here to, like, you're not coming back?
I'm not coming back now. I dropped my daughter off at daycare this morning. This will be the longest I've ever been away from her. And I had my sunglasses on my head and I was like, see ya. I had to put I never thought it would be like, I knew that I would miss her. But
how many days?
It's like 2.5 weeks.
So, she at the age where she gets you won't be there, or you just...
She probably doesn't know that I'm not going to be there, but she is at the age where when I come home, she'll like run up to the door screaming and stuff like that. So yeah, she's going to be... this is the wonders of Skype and stuff like that. Is like I can FaceTime, so I can talk to her every day and stuff. But I never thought it would knock me like it's knocked me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought, it's just a couple of weeks. Like I've been traveling, I was in the army and stuff like that. I've been used to being away from my family, but this is the first time I've been away from her for Eternals before for 3 days.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm usually I leave on the Wednesday night and I'm back on the Sunday afternoon. So it's not even that long.
Now imagine you're like coaching's high pressure and that, but imagine you're fighting. Now you got to deal with like that.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. Like, I actually can't. And, there's lots of connotations to fighting when you just had a kid. And, like my daughter didn't sleep for the first 10 months pretty much. So there was no way I would have been able to fight. I couldn't barely fucking drive to work. I was so tired. So, yeah, how these fighters are doing it with young families and stuff, whether they're just like, look, love, I'm in the spare room, I've got a fight camp, I need to sleep. It changes everything. So.
Because it's and even like you said, it's not just the time away. It's dealing when you're there and you got to get your sleep. You got to train. Man, I struggle hard enough keeping relationships doing anything that's not like day to day, like
It's
work
tough,
and come
man.
home. Like, because everything I do with stand up and everything, and I'm home at like 11 p.m. I'm out all night type shit. So it's like, I can't imagine having to look after a kid the same time.
Yeah, well, me and Nat have dinner at 9 o'clock at night most nights because that's what time I get home from the gym. So she's like, her whole routine's changed around because I work back to front hours, really. I'm working when everyone else is off work.
Yeah, it's become a real issue because when, like during the day, I'm always free. But if you're not doing anything during the day, you feel like a loser. And then even though I'm working at night, working on weekends, that's when everyone else is hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
So during the day should be like your like free time.
Yeah.
But I feel like a loser, like because I'm like everyone else is at work.
Yeah, it's funny working different hours and everyone. And I do find myself sometimes. I was having a conversation with someone last week. I know yesterday I was talking to Ash from Engage, and like sometimes I'll give myself a coffee break in the daytime, and I'll sit here and I don't know, I might put like a little bit of a documentary on the laptop and just sit for half an hour or 20 minutes and and I feel like a lazy bastard.
Yeah.
Like, because it's the middle of the day, and even though I might have been working for 4 hours already, it's weird because there's no, like, with this job, it's all self-discipline and sat in the same with you because you're sort of subcontracting all over the place. And for me, like, no one's telling me you need to do this, you need to do this. I'm judging myself on what I'm creating.
And no one really gets it. Like no one understands. And they all say, even close friends or whatever it is, they're like, yeah, cool, no, we understand. Like we understand. They don't. They
It's
don't
hard
really
to
get
understand
it.
because if you've been that 9 to 5 guy, you're at school 9 to 5, whatever, at 8 to 3 or whatever fucking time you went to school. Then you're at college or high school, and it's all like day, boom, work during the day.
Yeah.
Friday,
Friday, woo,
work,
yeah.
boom, weekend. Like weekend, what's a weekend? Like I work on the weekend.
Exactly. Like I've never wanted a real job. Like I've been just afraid of 9 to 5. Like just to me, that I take that as a loss.
I've
like
never really had one.
And that's not to say if you work 9 to 5, like that's that's like I couldn't
No, it's a
do it.
personal thing.
I like physically couldn't do it. But sometimes I look and I'm like, man, if I went just high school, then straight into uni.
You know what I think? Sorry to cut you off. Sometimes it'd be nice to know that I'm going to be off every weekend, so that come Friday night, I don't have to be back at work till Monday.
But that's exactly what I was going to say. Is like, when Friday comes around and everyone goes from the office to the bar. I'm like, can you imagine what that would feel like? Like you just kind of go like, all right, I've got the weekend. I can do whatever I want. I can just write myself off. Where sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't eat that on Friday night. I was like, I think I might be sparring tomorrow. Like you kind of like even little things like that. And it's just, I would love just for like a week to try the whole 9 to 5, do nothing after 5. And then on the weekend, it's I get sick of it, but it's like, that's...
Occasionally I go home early from work, like in the evenings. If I get home, like sometimes I have to get home early, there's something I need to look after the baby or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. 5:30 rolls around, I'm normally like in the thick of it teaching.
Yeah.
Like, there's 100 people.
That's like your
teaching.
peak hour.
And I'm like, just sitting at home and it's just boring. It's batshit.
It's fucking weird. It's
Training.
bizarre. But there's every now and then you don't have training. Like you said, you don't have training or you don't have
It's a public
something.
holiday and the gym's shut. And
You're just like, you sit there and you're like, oh, fuck, all right. But you do it once and then you're done.
And I'm the guy that needs to be busy. Like, sometimes the missus will go, oh, take an hour, go and do something. If I said that to her, she'd go to the shop to get a massage or something like that.
Yeah.
I put my running shoes on and go for a run. I've got to be active.
Yeah.
I've got to be moving around.
That's one thing
sit.
I do like because I've fucking had so many issues with girls. I'll get into it. But like,
That's a whole nother podcast.
no, but what's fucking funny
You know
is...
what? Next podcast, we'll go through your
Mitch's
girls'
relationship.
See if I can fix it up for you.
For sure.
Fucking
Yeah, because I'm
Casanova.
sure our girl audience is just pumping. But I often, like you said about putting on your running shoes, I literally run away from my problems. I get so fit when I've got issues with girls because I just fuck. Because Friday night.
Class fuck.
No. But like Friday and Saturday night, what are they doing? It's your ex. They're getting slammed. Like that's in your head. That's in your head. You know that's in your head. So like Saturdays, I'm fucking sprinting. I'm just doing sprints in the park. And it's like normally I do 3 sets. I'm doing 15. Like I'm just like where it's kind of it's almost good. Like
very strange man.
oh bro, when she
How
goes
your mind
down,
operates.
because you can just sit there and be like hell depressed, or you just fucking run away from your problems. Physically. Not mentally.
It's too much for me. This weekend, Eternal 29, Southport Sharks, the Gold Coast. There's still limited tickets available.
Oh, Brentin, fucking pick your
He
game
didn't
up.
sell them all. He sold 3/4 of the venue, but he didn't sell it all. So yeah, www.eternalmma.com.
Actually, a pretty good website. I must say, it's a really good website. No one, everyone always sends you to the Facebook page. Don't go to the actual
Got
website.
the Mitchell Tinley seal of approval, so it's doing all right.
Who goes to websites these days? No one.
So get your tickets there. Come along and see. You've got Brentin and Callan, one of the best fighters of the year in Australia. In national MMA, there's not going to be too many better than that. You got Mitch Martin, one of my boys, defending his belt for the first time against Ty Hogan. James Sykes and Nav Hassanzada, that's grappler striker, like 2 high-level guys. The card's stacked from top to bottom, as you'd expect with Eternal, with the up-and-coming talent and then the pros. So, yeah, get down there. And if you can't get down there, we'll post the link to the stream and get on that.
Yeah, you got the stream's really good. You get to listen to Jake Anderson. Is he on this one?
Jake and... what's the other fella's name?
Gravy on the chips. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. All right, that does it for us. If you listen to this audio-wise, you can go to YouTube, check out shit from there. If you're looking on YouTube, you can get it audio if you're sick of seeing our ugly faces. All right, we'll see you next week with all the results.